Hello and welcome to Planet Smasher HQ. I'm going to set up for a game of the Incunabula right now. It's probably not going to be a whole game. I've got a specific idea that I've been messing around with that I want to test. The idea is about a card-based activation ordering system, which is essentially the same as the one that you have seen in Hazard Check in a previous video, and it's also one that I was messing around with in Junk Space. I think it will work nicely in the Incunabula, and I want to give it a check because we've been playtesting this game for a while using basically an alternating activation system. And I think this card-based initiative preset activation system where the suits also give you access to a special action could be really interesting, but I need to get it on the table and find out. So I'm going to get it on the table and find out. All right, I'm going to get the terrain set up, and then I'm going to play a couple of turns, and hopefully it's enjoyable to see this sort of backstage activity. Okay. I've got some tokens here. These are going to be clue tokens. One of them is going to have a star on it. That means it's the main objective. In this case, it's a fragment of an Incunabula, an ancient book from the dawn of creation, containing some fragmentary knowledge of the mechanics of the universe. Going to be 8 dummies and 1 real one. I'm going to shuffle these up. And in the proper scenario, there'll be a way of scattering these, but I'm just going to get set up here. Because I'm not testing the scenario as good, I'm testing the activation system. I've got 2 crews here. I'm using these Malifaux models because they're nicely painted. Here's some sort of gunslingers. I'm going to put them over here. And here's some sort of wizard with some undead mutant constructs. So up until now, Incunabula has used a pretty standard alternating activation with an initiative flip to determine who activates the first model. However, I've been messing about with this activation system that I sort of tried first a little bit in Hazard Check. So it goes like this. Each player gets 7 cards. And then for each of these 7 cards, they set one against each model. And that's going to be the point in the turn in which they activate. So if I wanted this, what even is that? That headless monster to go pretty early, I could put down a high card. And the suit will indicate some kind of specific action that they then get access to. Here, the spades gives him access to a sprint move that he wouldn't ordinarily have if he didn't play a card. The wizard at the back here, I might want to hold him until the end and give him an opportunity to react to the rest of the board state. So I would do that, and I would go through and I would set secretly a card for each model. I don't know what the jokers do yet. And here on the other side of the table, looking at the cards from their deck, they would do the same thing. And they would set some cards with the suits that match the special action that they wanted to take. Here I'm throwing them down into play, but the game has character cards. So I think in reality, you'd have a couple of character cards in front of you and you'd put the card on the character card. Once everyone's got a card set, we reveal them simultaneously. Now we know who moves first and what order we activate. And the intention here is that this sort of eliminates the predictability of activations and also softens the activation advantage problem, because if you know the other guy has got more models to activate, you can play lower cards and force him to activate his stuff early and then you get to react. Or if you needed to alpha strike, you use your cards that way. The intention being that it sort of massages the activation order and makes it an interesting decision right at the beginning. So then the second question is, right now in Incunabula, I've given everybody a slightly larger number of action points than you would normally see in a game like this. You tend to get 2 action points, either a move and an action or 2 AP that you can spend on a variety of actions. In this game, everybody gets 3 and some models get 4. And also there's quite a lot of opportunities. Everybody has access to a 0 action, which in this game is an action that is free, but you can only take 1 of them. So that way, most people end up doing 4 things and the leaders end up doing 5 things, which is tons. And with this random initiative order, for some reason, the change to the activation ordering is making me question whether that's too many AP. I mean, it was already too many AP and it made models that ran around doing all kinds of fun stuff. So I don't know why the ordering of the activations should really change my logic on why I picked that, which is because I wanted a really dynamic game. And actually the suits being linked maybe to the free action, so you can only take a free sprint action or a free mantle action if you've got the right suit, that sort of puts a control on being able to scamper exactly where you want to go and do exactly what you want to do. So maybe I'll keep it and let everybody have lots of actions. So the first ones to move are going to be over there. We've got 2 kings. The tie is resolved by the suit, and spades happens to be the highest. She's got a sprint action available, which she's not going to take. She can't take the mantle action because I've now moved that onto a suit. So she's going to take, I guess, a walk action here to touch this marker. To investigate the marker, she needs to pass an occult test. She has to make an occult, let's say occult 6 test. So she's got an occult of 3, an occult of 2 actually. So she doesn't get a positive on this. So she just flips a card and is hoping to get a 6 or higher. She didn't, so she fails to investigate that marker. She's got 3 AP, she's walked once, so she dawdled again. She failed to investigate that marker. She's now activated, so that activation card is discarded. Next up, we got this one. She's going to start by moving into contact with that marker and investigating it. Aces are high, so she successfully investigates that marker. Is it the Incunabula? It is not. She's got a heart. I haven't decided what the heart does yet, so she's going to make a move. So there. She's got 1 more action point, so she is going to go this way around the building. She's done, so the card is discarded. The next one is the jack, so he'll go ahead and sprint. Sprint means making a move at 2 inches higher than your normal move, so he moves 6, but has a 0 action. But he's now on negatives for the rest of the turn, but that's okay. He's going to make a first action to go to there. That uses the first of his 3 AP, and then he'll do an investigate. He's on a negative because he ran, but that's okay because the lowest card is an 8, so he succeeds. We check this clue. Is it the fragment? It is not the fragment, so we discard it. He's got 1 AP left. He doesn't have any ranged weapons. I think he'll stay where he is because he can't move into cover. I've just realised there's an ace over there, and aces are indeed high. So we're going to move this model. She's got an ace of mantling. So she's going to make a 1 move action. Mantling basically just means you get to make a move, but you can sort of teleport. You can place yourself anywhere as long as you don't travel more than 3 inches up or down. So she's going to mantle up to there. Unfortunately, I don't think that actually reaches the marker, sadly. So she will make 1 more walk to there, and she will check that marker. She doesn't have an occult of 6 or higher. She hasn't sprinted, so she's just flipping a card. She's hit the target number, so she investigates the marker. Is this the fragment of the Incunabula? It is the fragment of the Incunabula. Okay, so this model is now carrying the precious. Now, I don't know for the scenario whether it'd be interesting to know that fact publicly or not. I think if it's purely bluffing, it could be a little bit tedious. Equally, there's now a target painted on her head, but so be it. Okay, so she's activated. Her card gets discarded. Next up is the 10, which is this character with the long-ranged pistol. Now, this is interesting because in this case, I wish I kind of just smashed cards down for the sake of it. In this case, I wish that I played a lower card so that she could activate later in the turn and react to when there were more models pushed forward. That's cool. That's doing what I was hoping it was going to do. So she's going to walk forward to there, and she's going to make a pistol shot up here. Okay, so her pistol's got a range of 8 inches, unless she spends 2 AP rather than 1, in which case it doubles its range. So she's going to have to walk and then spend 2 of her AP in order to get a long range shot. Her shoot is 5 because she's a lieutenant. That is a regular schmo, so her defense is 4. Lieutenant's got the higher stat and so gets positive. There's cover, which means the other model gets positive as well. So flipping for the lieutenant shooting, she's got a jack, and flipping for the minion dodging, she's got an ace, so the shot misses. She's then got a 0 left, and she played the card with the sprint action. So if she wanted to, she could sprint 6 inches somewhere. And I think she will sprint over here to get within mantling distance of sorting her out in hand-to-hand combat. So that's now gone. Next up is the 9 over there. I think the diamond is probably going to be something to do with being evasive. We don't need to check any more markers. What we need to do is, and that's a shame, I think, now that I think about it, I think having the markers contain some minor treasure that I can carry away for the campaign game seems more interesting. So I'm going to write that down. Yeah, she'll walk, shoot, I think. So that is the leader with a shoot 6. That's a grunt with a defense of 4. So it's a positive for having a higher shoot value. It's positive for being in cover on the defense duel. So unfortunately, that's not enough. So that is a hit. Now, when someone gets hit, they definitely will take damage. The question is how much. So this model here has to make a guts check. Gut value of that model is 4. The strength of this pistol is only 2. So he's got the stat advantage. So he gets to positive flip and pick the better one. So he's passed the gut check, which means he takes the lower of the 2 damage values. In this case, this gun has got a 1/5 damage rating. So he takes 1 damage rather than 5 damage. That 9 is now activated. We've got 2 6s. Again, the suit breaks the tie. And in this case, it's this club. Walk, walk. And then I've got access to the mantle 0 because of that. So he will mantle up to there. And with the last action, he is going to move to there. Doesn't get to make any close combat attacks because he's run out of AP. But the woman holding the Incunabula is now engaged. Next up, this little cherub. He's got a heart, which I don't know what it does. But anyway, he's going to storm forward. He'll come support his buddy over here. So that's 2 walk actions to there, and another walk action to there. Let's get threatening. We'll take a walk action, we'll take a shoot action. It's got some cover. This is just a regular Joe model with a shoot 4 against a defensive 4, so it's straight. There's no advantage to her for the stats. She flips 1 card. He's going to flip 2 because he's in cover. It doesn't save him though, so the shot hits. This is a different weapon. It's a strength 6, so he's going to make a gut check. His gut value is 4, so he's at a stat disadvantage, which means he's flipping a negative. A 5 is not enough to beat a strength 6, so he takes the larger of the 2 numbers. This heavy pistol has got 3/4, so he suffers 4 wounds, but they got 6 wounds. Part of me is unsure if the reason that I like this activation system is when I'm playtesting solo, I quite often get lost in my own thoughts and I can't remember what I'm supposed to be doing next. And these cards tell me which model is going to activate next. I don't think that indicates that it's taking away decision making during the turn. It's simply taking away the decision making of which model to activate, not what they're going to do with this fresh board state that's in front of them. So I don't think that's a concern for choosing this activation system or not. Walk, walk. 0 is a mantle, and then we'll try for an occult 4. He's at a negative because his stat is too low. But that's fine. He successfully checks that and picks up whatever not magical treasure it is. Maybe it's some gears or some gold pieces, I'm not sure yet. The last model to activate is this occult wizard here. He's going to move. He's going to check the... He's going to make the occult 4 check. He's got occult 6 because he's a leader, so he's at a stat advantage. He does successfully check and get the marker. Lovely little loot that is. And then he's going to move forward a little bit under there. He's got a model within 10 inches. Let's see if he can spellcast. Yeah, so he can do a long range sort of occult powered spellcasting attack. In this case, the attacking stat for him is occult versus the opposing player's willpower. He's got an occult 6. That's the opposing leader with a beefy willpower of 8. So she's at the advantage here. So she's going to get a positive. So we'll flip for the attacker and for the defender. The advantage there has not helped her. So that is a palpable hit with the spellcasting attack. So it's going to do damage. The question is how much. This is a strength 8 attack. She's got a grit of 7, so she's at a stat disadvantage. Did she beat an 8? No, that's a 6. So she suffers the 5 damage. It's a 3/5, so she suffers 5 damage. She's got 12 hit points, so she's just shy of half squashed there. And then that's him done. So at the end of the turn, I'm feeling pretty good about this. It doesn't feel any difference to how we were playing the game before. It's just that I'm having to pre-agree with myself what the activation order is, and that has added some uncertainty between the two sides, which I think is nice. I'm going to go into the second turn now, and I'm going to introduce another rule that I was thinking about, which is Incunabula has a hand of cards that allows you to affect the jewels. And I want that hand of cards to be something that's got some tension with the activation cards. Okay, so in this turn, I'm going to do 7 cards each again. And then after you've set cards, you then draw back up to 7 cards, and that becomes your control hand. So let's have the wizard and gribblies setting first. So in this case, I'm thinking, well, the highest card I've got, I would like to place over here because I want that melee attack to happen before that other model gets a chance to move away. And similarly, I would like her to get involved, but in reality, she would need to mantle to get up there. So the question is, do I have her activate early in order to get stuck into the enemy leader, or do I get her to activate in sort of middle of the pack, second half of the turn, but get access to a mantle? And I think I'm going to do that. For the rest of the models, so I can hold on to this. This is an interesting card because I can hold on to it for a good strong attack during the turn, or I can play it now to get an early activation. I'm not enormously excited about an early activation apart from that guy who's a bit exposed. So I'm going to sort of, in my mind, I'm going to hold on to these 2 good cards and I'm just going to sort out these ones. So I think he's the most exposed, so he'll go there, then him, and then he's hiding at the back, so he's okay. And now I've got 2 cards in hand, and I would then draw up. Okay, so swapping sides now. I've got this hand of cards for Intergalactic Cowboys. I am looking for the highest card in order to take an action, and happily it's a mantle, which is exactly what I want to do anyway. So this high mantle is going to be what that Incunabula holder gets to do. In terms of other high activations, I'd like to get the leader out of this exposed position, so she's going to take that high card. It would be nice if it was a high evade, but whatever, that's fine. And then don't know that there's anything. Oh yeah, this model at the back would like to take a high mantle so that she can get stuck in up there as fast as possible. And then I guess these other ones, I'm looking at this hand now and I'm going, well, do I want to activate early or do I want to hold on to? So do I want to activate a little bit earlier, or do I want to hold on to these as cards to play during the turn? Yeah, because things like, I know that a 6 is good for guts checks and will save some wounds. So yeah, so then I'm going to sacrifice activating early, activate late when I've got a bit of information. And that feels okay because those low cards are crummy in my hand, but they're actually kind of powerful in the activation. So that feels good. All right. And now we're going to fill up the hands again. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This looks very messy, but I think that's just while I'm play testing, I want to have everything right in front of me. I don't think I would imagine you playing with the cards on the table like this. I think that would be grotty. Okay, so again, the highest card goes first. The highest card in this case is a jack, and we go through the suits, and the black jack over there is the highest. So she's going to go for a mantle and try and escape. Her defense is 4, his fight is 4, so it's no one's got the advantage on the stats. Yeah, so it's just what's his fight, what's her defense. So he successfully keeps her pinned. Do I have a card that I can use in my hand? No, I don't have an ace. That's a shame. So she fails that first attempt, but she will make a second attempt. So his attack, her defense, there she does it. So if I wanted to hold in place, do I have an ace in my hand to keep her pinned? I do not. So that second duel ends in her favor. So she'll walk 2 inches, 2 inches, and she's carrying the Incunabula fragment. That was her 0 mantle, which failed, then a 1, and we'll do 2 further walks. So we'll walk to there. So in a game about carrying treasure tokens away, it feels quite powerful that you can move that far, but at the same time it works both ways because he can also move that fast. So, okay, hearts is the next in order. She is going to, she might engage actually. She'll take a charge action to there, moving in a straight line. She gets a free attack with a positive. She's already got a stat advantage, so that's 3 cards for her, 1 for him. She hits with the big swords, that's paired weapons. He has to make a guts check. So here, I don't know if this is what I'll do, but it could be that this heart is about taking heart and you get benefits on your guts check, for example. Now, we already know that he's played that card, so he doesn't have to have activated to have like a passive guts bonus. That would be kind of cool. So yeah, maybe this is, maybe this is like toughening up. And so he now gets a bonus on his guts. Let's play it like that, see what happens. Paired weapons. It's a strength 4 damage 2/3. So strength 4, he needs to make a guts check. He's got a positive because of that heart suit. Why not? Yep, he's got a pass on that, so he takes the 2 damage. He took 4 damage before, so he is a pile of ichor. No, he is not a pile of ichor. He is a doom token. So that guy has a doom token. She has made a 2-action charge, so she'll make a subsequent charge over there. So she needs to disengage. She's got the stat bonus. He attacks. She defends. She wins and escapes. So she makes a move to there. Paired weapons have got a range of 2 inches, so she's fine to stand there. In fact, she'd probably be fine to stand there. And I don't know if you can charge out of combat like that, but given that they're doomed, I wonder if people who are doomed lose their engagement. We'll figure that out. So she's charged, and she's got a better stat, so she gets 3 cards. They're all naff. He gets 1. She doesn't like the cards she's got, so digging in the hand, we'll go for mediumly big swing, but with the trigger we want. Can he best it? Yep, he'll cause that to miss. And then she's got no more actions, so she is done. Over here, we've got a 4-inch move outside of melee range, and then a 6-inch charge with a 1-inch melee range is enough to get to there. Okay, so he's not got a stat advantage. He has charged. she's got a defense. The attack hits. It's strength 4, 1/4. So she's going to make her guts check. She makes her guts check, so she takes 1 damage. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I think I have learnt what I wanted to know from this little push around, which is that I like the feeling of these cards. I don't like the clutter, so I'll probably play it with the character cards next time to sort of show that the clutter is actually off the board. But I like the feeling of it. It's not as apparent to me as I was worried about that I have to reduce the number of AP from where we've been playtesting. So it still feels like you can have lots of actions. It's very dynamic and fast, but that the card system, it's not getting in the way of the hand because we can just draw back up to it, and it's causing me to have a moment of decisions. And then I think my hope is that then it means that the handover from player to player is faster because you just have to point at the next card and you know exactly who's going to activate next. So hopefully that should actually increase the speed of the game to some small degree. All right, I'll wrap it up there. Well, I hope this was interesting. It's kind of a fragment of a game, and that is, I guess, how I work. When I've got a question like this, I just want to get it down and see what it feels like. So this isn't in any way like a demonstration of what Incunabula is or an explanation of how it's going to be cool, but it's just a little window into the backstage area of how I approach the design of these games. Anyway, cheers for stopping by, and I will catch you soon. Bye-bye.